Good morning, YouTubers. Tsquare here with Tsquare Talk. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It is Saturday morning. Got a great video planned out for you guys. At least I think it will be good because everybody usually loves these videos on Saturday, especially because my Saturday videos are solely made up of your questions and comments based off our Friday video. So anybody that's been watching the channel for a while, they know they can ask my specific opinions on certain subjects, and I read the comment out loud and then we talk about it for a little bit. Now, unfortunately, I might have made a little bit of a mistake yesterday because I ended up forgetting to say that in the beginning of the Friday video. So there's not quite as many comments. So I don't think it will be super long of a video. These videos, you never know how long they'll last. If a lot of people have a lot of in-depth questions, then the videos can go for a while. I've had my longest one go about 4.5 hours. If not a lot of people ask questions, then essentially you don't have as many, as long to talk, essentially. It's just the pure, straight up few questions, and that's it. It looks like we're kind of in the lower end of the spectrum right now, but we'll see once I get reading them. I haven't read all the comments. I just kind of scroll through real quick, just giving it like a 1-minute look over all of them. Before we jump in, though, I want to take a quick minute and say we had a great day in silver yesterday. We closed off the week at $85 almost, $84.52, up $6.09 yesterday, up 7.77%. A lot of people pretty excited about that. There are people out there that are wondering, did I miss the opportunity? I personally think we're on the tail end of the dip. I had someone ask me my thoughts. I told him that yesterday, and he ended up coining that phrase, the tail end of the dip, and I actually liked it. And I said that is probably the easiest way to say it. We are on the tail end, and we are going to start probably working our way back up. However, who knows what's going to happen when we hit this $90 mark. A lot of people are saying there's going to be a lot of resistance at $90. Personally, I'm not worried about it. If the price comes back down, I'll pick up some more. If the price keeps going up, that's great for the stuff that I've already picked up. And I think a lot of you will feel the same way. We were as high as $122, and a lot of us were getting frustrated when we put in our order because, quite frankly, you didn't get much for at $122. People's orders were coming in kind of small, including mine. I was barely able to afford anything, it felt like. But I think we've got some good potential coming, at least probably another $5-6 before we even hit any kind of resistance. We could cover that $5 or $6 in just Sunday night, Monday morning. We'll see how that happens. The Asian markets will be opening back up next week on Tuesday or Monday night for us in the U.S. Due to the time changes. It's going to be really exciting. Some people that have been following this are getting a little frustrating that the price doesn't change on the Shanghai, sitting at $86 right now, $86.74. And then when you look at the U.S. price, just under $85. Not much of a gap there. However, I think Shanghai is going to just explode in price when they do open back up because they've been having their price pretty much ahead of ours for a while now. Pretty much all year it's been ahead of ours. So we'll see how that plays out. In order for them to keep taking all the silver and sucking it up, their price has to be higher than ours. Otherwise, a lot of countries are just not going to send their silver. They're going to send their silver wherever the highest paid price is. I mean, anybody would sell for the highest amount of money if they're going to sell. I wanted to kind of take a quick minute because I was looking at this and it kind of was interesting. I actually had seen this get posted on Reddit, but I got a kick out of this little drop right here where they tried to beat the price down. Literally one candlestick, it came all the way down to $79.50, and then all of a sudden just popped up even higher to $82. And that was in a short amount of time. It was an attempted takedown. They were trying to beat the price down. 19 150 ounces dumped in a 15-minute time frame, making a huge red candle bar. It turned out it was 3,000. I'm guessing that's 383. I'm not sure how they wrote that. 383,000 contracts. I think that might be. I don't know. They got that comma put in the wrong spot. I don't know if that was a mistake or how that is, but you got the total number of ounces up here, so it's definitely a lot of silver that hit the market. And it was mostly paper silver. For people that don't really understand the difference, paper is paper and physical is physical. The people that hold physical don't really care what the price goes to. A lot of them people aren't selling unless they feel that they get the right amount of money. And on most people that are holding on to silver are not willing to let it go in the 80s. All the people, in my opinion, that were willing to let their silver go for under $100, a lot of them sold. We've seen that as we were climbing higher and higher. Them people all got out. They got out. We've seen some of the dip. It came down. It popped back up. It came down. It popped back up. That is people selling. Despite some people saying that people selling their silver doesn't really matter, a lot of people were pouring silver into the refineries. They viewed that price as overvalued. Personally, I don't think that. I think when we hit back up to 100, I don't think there'll be as much resistance. There will be some people that will remember this drop a few weeks ago, but the majority of them are either not really worried about it or they already sold their silver. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, jumping in, we will be talking about all of the comments in yesterday's video, starting with X Factor. EO Morning Tea, just passing through. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you never know what the comments are going to be. Sometimes the comments, they vary. And I hope you're having a great one, X Factor. I do appreciate you stopping through. I actually wondered the other day what happened to you. I was like, I hadn't heard from him in a while. Let's see. None of your business. What do you feel like a financial reset will look like? Also, what is your time frame and outlook for the United States? So how it will look, I believe, is they're going to try to keep it under wraps as long as they can. It's going to pop up, unfortunately. When you look at what's going on right now, I believe there is a lot of people that know what's coming already, and they are positioning themselves. When you start getting into time frame outlook, they want to keep the dollar system going. Let me put it this way. If you're sitting on, hypothetically, $100,000, I'm just pulling that number out randomly, and you know something is going to happen, but you're in a successful position, you have money flowing in, you're starting to get worried, you know something is going to happen, because some of these insiders, they know what's going on. They're following. They've got teams of people that do nothing but analyze what's going on. And so they start positioning themselves. They start buying gold. They start buying silver. They start buying hard assets that they know when the system gets revalued or reset, then all of a sudden they're out everything. But on the flip side, remember, these people have successful incomes. They're making a lot of money. They don't want to let go of the, I don't want to say world domination that they have, but let's be honest. If you're making good money, you're living a good life, a lot of people will want to keep that game going as long as they can. But they also want to insure themselves. And that's why I always say gold and silver should be insurance, an insurance policy. I don't want to see the world come to an end. And by come to an end, I don't mean literally speaking. I mean seeing a reset of the dollar. I don't want to see that when I know I get a military retirement, or some of you might get a Social Security or a pension or retirement, because in a reset, a lot of that could go away. I think the easiest type of reset to come would be essentially they just come out and they say, okay, turn in 1,000 of your old dollars and you're going to get one of the new ones. I think that's unfortunately the easiest way that we have seen in multiple other countries happen. How does that affect the system? Well, the system keeps going. How does that affect the savers? That's where the problem comes up. The problem comes up with the guy that saved, let's just say, $200,000, and now he's down to $200. He's just been wiped out instantly from a 1,000 to 1 reset. And the devastation comes from the actual reset of what you have built up, the savings account that you have built up, the savings in US dollars. Now, what happens to the rest of the system? The rest of the system continues on. If you were making $20 an hour, you're just going to make $20 an hour in the new money. And that is going to force people to essentially work. Some people will probably be happy because maybe their debt will get reset. Some people believe that in a reset, they won't let people off the hook with some sort of a reset in money. However, in the terms of debt, per se, you do see your debt essentially kind of come down in a reset like that, because if you owe, let's say, $10,000, and then all of a sudden they're in the old dollars, and then they reset 1,000 to 1, now you owe $10. I don't believe they would actually do it like that exactly, though. I believe that people's debt, they would make a deal and say debts stay the same, but at a limited interest rate. You have to charge XYZ interest. And so if you owe $10,000, you would still owe $10,000. Now, I know some people would not like the way that sounds, because what happened? Here's the thing. In a case like that, the guy that owed $10,000 still owes $10,000. That same guy that was making maybe $20 an hour is still making $20 an hour. But if that guy had a bank account that had $1,000 in it and he just had it devalued 100 to 1 or whatever, he ended up losing basically his savings. It just got wiped out pretty much instantly. That is kind of how I would see a reset going. Are there a lot of different ways they could play it out? 100%. But they've already talked about making a new money in terms of redesigning all the bills, the ones, the fives, the tens, the 20s, the hundreds, and so on. And I think with that in mind, that they know something is going to happen. So I think they could start redesigning them, not really putting them out for the public just yet, until the day comes where everybody has to turn their old in and get the new ones. And that will be devastating for savers in dollars. But here's the thing. On the flip side of that, your house is still going to have a value. Your gold and silver is still going to have a value. The people that get wiped out the most are the people that are saving in dollars. And we'll see. Nobody has a crystal ball on how this would go. Some people say no, they won't do that like that, because if they do, well, what happens to the government debt? Well, essentially the government debt would not really get washed away due to the system, due to the reset. So that's why some people think that's not possible to go that way. I could picture that going that way, but there's so many different ways that it could happen that there's a million answers literally for this. So, and everybody is going to have their own opinion on how things could play out. And you're more than welcome to write a comment in there on how you think, or somebody thinks, anybody that's watching this video right now thinks that that could play out. Moving on with the next question. Thank you so much. That was a great question. Let's see. Clean. I'm thinking it's. Oh, cleaner guy. Okay. I was trying to think if that was like a typo or what. Okay. Cleaner guy. I still have diamond hands on my fiat. No clue what is going to happen, but I'm ready either way. If it goes up, I might part with some. If it goes down, I'll buy more. Trying to survive now, as well as keep an eye on the end game goals. So yeah, prices are going crazy on everything right now. I went to the grocery store earlier today and I was just like, what the heck? You know, it's kind of funny. So I tend to buy a lot of cans of soda. Some of y'all know it's probably not healthiest, but I drink a lot of Diet Coke in a day. Probably 4, maybe 5 cans a day of Diet Coke. Now, I do drink over a gallon of water a day, so I'm healthy on the water content, but anything after my gallon right now is usually a Diet Coke. However, I thought I'd be slick, and I was like, I'm going to start, I got an idea. I'm going to go buy a 2-liter bottle of Diet Coke and save some money. And I got to the store, and I'm expecting like $1 or 99 cents for a 2-liter, and I was like, what? It was like $3. I was like, darn, even 2-liter bottles have gone up drastically. But yeah, where I'm going with that is prices are working higher. And I think you're wise to, be ready to pick up a little bit, but also be ready if the price comes down. Excuse me. I'm tired today. Obviously, I'm not drinking enough Diet Coke. I need the Diet Coke for the caffeine. That's kind of what wakes me up when I first get up. And then when it starts warming up, I tend to drink a lot of water. And then as I get tired in the night, I want to drink a couple more. And then I never really get a good night's sleep, but who knows? Let's see. Okay. None of your business. Great video, T. I definitely like this one. I didn't know about this. Yeah, so yesterday was a great video. We talked about a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different stuff that is going on that is making it look like silver is going to pop. And the timing on the video was incredible because I put that up and then all of a sudden a lot of those things started popping off yesterday. So it was kind of an interesting timing. Okay, next question. Walks with me. I'm hoping I didn't miss the cutoff. The price really went up today. I wonder if the price is going to be talking about the sudden rise of silver. It's still doing better than the stock market, and everything has ups and downs. I'm still ahead of the game. Couple weeks ago, I wish I had more cash on hand, but it is what it is. I'm not doing for today, not doing for tomorrow, and if I play my cards right, I won't need it. And I can give it to my kids, and if he plays his cards right, he can pass it down to his kids, and so on and so on. Building the future. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yeah, so that's a great comment. I mean, people need to understand. I believe we have I don't even want to say a once in a lifetime opportunity. They have manipulated the price of silver to convince people that silver was worthless. And now with the manipulation, we have an opportunity to buy it. And I mean, depending on how much time you have before retirement, I mean, silver could be $500-$600 in 10, 15 years from now. And some people think that's impossible. It's crazy talk. I mean, let's be honest. 10, 15 years is a long way out. That's a lot of time for a reset. That's a lot of times for things to change. And I think ultimately, if you're stacking precious metals, you're preparing. Now, some of this you might need when you get older. Some of it you might need if they reset the system and pull everybody's pensions and retirements, and set up some kind of who knows what they could do. They could set up some kind of a zone or a area where anybody that wants government help has to live in this zone. Low-income housing, maybe you could call it like that. An area where basically they get help and government doesn't really foot the bill, in the sense that we give a lot of money away in government programs right now, and a lot of it does get wasted. Some of y'all seen the daycares out west where there was daycares and there weren't no kids there. It was just someone collecting the money. They could set up some kind of, I don't want to call it a smart, actually I probably shouldn't even use that word, city, but who knows what they could do down the road. And having some precious metals kind of puts you in a good spot where you can look out for yourself. You're preparing for your future. You're preparing for your kids' future. And if nothing bad happens, That's great. It's the insurance policy that you buy, but if nothing bad happens, you can turn around and resell it and get your money back. But if something bad does happen, well, great. It's worth even more. And maybe you won't even need to. So, Tangled Up in Blue. Hope you're having a great day. Good evening. Keep it up, bro. The good vids. I sent you an email yesterday. Your package actually went out yesterday along with Faceless Silver's package. I will shoot you an email with the confirmation code or tracking code. Let's see here. Nunya. It's tea time. I kind of like that kick, that phrase. It's tea time with Tsquare Talk. Has a neat ring to it. Let's see. Zipper. Late. Be here. Yeah, it's better late than never. It's good that you're here. That was 8 hours ago, so that's what that meant. Didn't watch it when it first rolled out, but it doesn't matter. I mean, when you watch it, as long as you catch the video, it's good information. Let's see here. Knife Collector. When silver was 100 to 120 and seeing how dealers were paying $10 to $30 under spot because they didn't want to lose their money. If silver went back to 120 or even 150, I wonder if they would be offering 50 to 60 under spot. Thinking it could crash again. So here's my thoughts. I think that they saw that it went up essentially pretty fast. We have never seen that. Refineries were backlogged. People were flushing it in. I don't think as many people are going to be selling when it hits 100 next time, personally. There will be sellers. If we break 120, there's a good chance we're going to shoot up to 150, and there will be another wave of selling at 150. But I think the sellers, the people that are selling, there's less of them out there every time the wave goes higher up. And because of that, less selling, it means less will be hitting the markets. Who's going to be selling? People like me, people like some of you, we're not selling. I'm not selling. I mean, will I sell an ounce here and there or maybe trade a couple ounces for something? Well, of course. I wouldn't sell my whole collection. I want something for my retirement. I want to be prepared down the road when things really get crazy. I don't think they would be offering $50 under spot, $60 under spot, and I'll tell you why. Because there's going to be less people selling, and there's going to be more people buying. That's the trick. I mean, when you really looked at it, how many people were buying at $15 silver? Not many. How many people started buying at $30 silver? More people got in, and at first, people were skittish. We went up to 50, 60. More people got in. We went up to 80, 90. More people got in. I talked to a lot of people that say that they got in at $80 or $90, and it was going up quick. And then when it came down, they're like, I love it. They loved it. They said, I can pick it up now for what I started picking it up at for. This is my second shot. A lot of people that I've talked to said, I wished I had bought more when I first got in. And then you see that pullback and people are, oh, I don't know, so it goes both ways. I don't think we'll see crazy under spot. Do I think if we go to 150, there will be, or 200, that people, if it goes to 200, I'm convinced when it first hits 200, people will be saying 150. If you want to sell an ounce, it's 150 an ounce. In that case, yeah. But, I mean, are you unhappy? In that case, I wouldn't be. If silver's at 200 and I've got to sell some for 150 an ounce, I might be a little disappointed I'm not getting my 200, but I'll be a lot happy that I bought what I bought when I bought it. So who knows? Next comment, Buffalo Silver. I bought 20 ounces earlier in the week. I buy every 2 weeks. You are one of the people that I knew always buys no matter what. You pick up your regular allotment. There could come a time where 20 ounces of silver will get very difficult to buy. I mean, think about it. If it goes up to $200 an ounce, that'd be a $4,000 You know, that's a lot of money for someone to tie up. I think ultimately, but buying on a regular basis, some people say you can't go wrong with that. Now, this is not financial advice. I don't know the future. I always tell people that in every video, not financial advice, just my opinion. But when silver does really start rocketing up, people won't be able to afford what they used to be able to afford. Some of y'all remember when I would do a package opening, and it might have been a big package opening. Those days are over. The buying a 100-ounce lot, even if it was me and other friends that all went in on it, I can't do that anymore. That is just too big of a number now. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's see. I stopped buying silver at $65 because I didn't believe it was worth more than that. A 2x adjustment sounds about right. $15 pre-cough, $30 post bideflation. I don't want to say the whole word just in case. $60 Trumponomics. And I'm kind of messing up these words intentionally just a little bit, just because of algorithms. I'm already on the YouTube punishment list right now, I think. I see a correction, not a drop. Did not bat an eye. From 120 to 80, I didn't lose any sleep. I didn't lose anything because I didn't believe it. I'm guessing that means it was really worth 120. Who knows? I scored a 10-pound bag of pure nickels, nickel anodes, for $19 a pound. Interesting. I don't even know what that is. Nickel anodes. Actually, that I don't know what that is, unless it's just nickel. A surplus price from the $25 a pound. Sounds like you got a good deal then. 22% down, I think, under spot. Retail price, which is 3x. Unlike copper, there is no readily available pure nickel scrap, and I want a bit for alloy stock. Maybe dabble in electroplating sometime. It can sit next to my 25-pound box of antimonium. I know I mispronounced that word. I know that's another metal, though. I actually had a couple subscribers keep writing to me about that, actually. I apologize. I can't pronounce that. Antimonium. I don't even antimonium. I don't know. That's driving me nuts. I'm gonna have to look that up after. I got for a bargain before China cracked down on exports. So yeah. Some of y'all know I'm a big fan of the copper pennies. Some of you know I'm a fan of the nickels. Why? Because they have value. If I need the money, I can always cash in a box of pennies or a box of nickels. I don't always go through them. I hate to say that. If I get rid of a box of nickels, I'll go through it before I do that. With pennies, I don't really have the time that it takes to go through the boxes of pennies. But I pick them up if I can get them. And now it's getting even harder to get them. So that's why I kind of do that. As for how high the silver, where silver's at, I think we've got a lot of up track. I think we're going to be back at 120 within a month. And then, we'll have some turbulence up there. The other times, if we don't get up to the 122 and break it for a day or two, we need to see another new all-time high on silver before we can get a major move higher. Next major move higher is probably going to be 150. And there's going to be a lot of people that regretted not buying. Now, if someone sold at 120, they were lucky enough to sell at 120, and then they bought back in at 80, they did awesome. They just did great. But not everybody is that lucky. After tea, I hope you're doing afternoon tea. Hope you're doing well. My question for your Saturday video is, if a copper penny melts at 3.8 cents And silver spot right now is $83.30. How much face value in copper pennies would someone need to offer you for an ounce of silver? Hold on here. I'm gonna have to do some math here for a quick second. Would you offer them, or what would you offer them? I actually would have an answer for that. The ratio with no premium either way would be 21.92 face value in copper, 1 cent for an ounce of silver. But what's your fair trade ratio? So I would not trade $22 for an ounce of silver, even if it's in all copper pennies. And I'll tell you why, because a lot of people don't realize the full value in copper pennies yet. Copper pennies take up a lot of space. That's the downside of it. And just not everybody is after copper. I don't expect copper is going to go up as fast as silver is going to go up. Like I said, I think within a month we'll be back over 100. I think copper is going to be the next metal that they manipulate, or that they really have to focus. Why? Just like they don't have the ability to manipulate the price of gold as much. Soon they won't have the ability to manipulate the price of silver as much. They will refocus their attentions on cheaper metals to keep them in check. I think copper will be one of those metals that they keep in check. Copper, I do believe, will go higher, but I don't believe it will go up as high on a percentage basis. With that being said, a second aspect of that is I actually am working a deal with someone if I can figure out the transportation logistics for his copper pennies. But I don't really know how I'm going to get the transportation logistics. 3.1 cents to me, or 3.8 cents, is, I won't say overvalued for copper, but at a time when you can't really melt it down, I just couldn't see doing that. Now the last part of the question is, but what would be your fair trade ratio? If someone said, I'll give you $50 in copper pennies, I might be hard pressed to say no to that for an ounce. That would imply, though, they would have to get them to me, because like I said, the logistics on the deal that I'm trying to work out is about 1,000 miles. So that obviously is a problem. If someone had $50 in all copper pennies for me, I would be tempted to take it, because I can put that away. It's a lot of time goes through to sort pennies. A lot of people don't realize that. I did have one of my friends say, that's why you need kids. Yes, if you're lucky enough to have some younger kids that can go through and separate them fast, that definitely is an advantage. I have a fair amount of pennies, but they're not separated. They are just boxes of pennies. So who knows? We'll see. That kind of answers your question. I don't have all firm answers on everything like that. I'd have to be put in a position where I'd have to put some real calculation. But like I said, $50 in copper pennies, all copper pennies, I would have a hard time saying no to that. Especially if there's wheat pennies mixed in there. Now I definitely would have a hard time saying no to that. Next comment, Chris Tribble. Have a great video. Thank you so much, Chris. For those of you that don't know who that is Chris over at Universal Coin and Bullion up in Houston area. Randy, how's it going? Okay, let's get it straight. Anybody that has ever had a job pays in Social Security and Medicare. Take a look at your W-2. Been paying in since I was 13 years old. With Social Security, my employer has to match what I pay. Oh, I didn't know they actually had a match pay. I was unaware of that. I knew every time I've worked, I've had to pay in. So here's something to ponder with cough, cough. how many people were erased? I'm sorry. How many people? Yeah, it was erased. I was like, did I misread that? How many people were erased that were receiving benefits? Figure out how much money the system saved. I've never seen anything on this. To anyone that says SS is a handout, PU, I'm guessing, is what that is, how you pronounce. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, PHAK. I know what that means. PU. I've paid into it. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. And I'm guessing that comment could be based maybe off something I said in the Philippines, maybe. I don't say that Social Security necessarily is a handout, per se. I do say that I think that they'll get rid of it eventually. They'll get rid of it. In fact, I can't even say that it's a handout because I think people pay in a lot more than they receive. I think the whole system of Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. I think it's a waste of money. If given the opportunity, I could better invest my money that they've taken out. And if they ever gave me an opportunity to cash it out and not get Social Security benefits for a one-time payment, hey, we'll give you a one-time payment today of this much, but you won't get Social Security down the road. You've just exempted yourself from it. I would take it. I would take the one-time payment. I wouldn't do that with everything, but I would in that case, because by the time I'm eligible to collect Social Security, in my health, I probably won't be around too long to collect it. They might pay me a couple of years. I know some people that literally didn't even collect anything on it. I will take mine the moment I am eligible for any amount, just to be done and start getting something back out of the system. I think it's something we pay into, and most people don't ever receive back what they paid. Now, are there exceptions? Yes. People that live healthy lifestyles and don't smoke, don't drink, eat healthy, maybe walk all the time. Will I get there someday down the road? Maybe, if I find the right woman in my life that it will put me on the right track, then maybe I'll eat healthy. But I'm diabetic. I started taking medicine for it, and now I think I can get away with eating junk that I probably shouldn't eat. And I wouldn't have eaten it before, but now I'm like, oh, a little bit won't hurt. I mean, I just had some chocolate-covered strawberries. I mean, so yeah, I realized that. And one of my friends who does not believe in the medicine, period, said, and that's what happens. You start taking medicine, and then you go back to your old bad habits. Whereas you getting sleepy and stuff like that, that's making you well aware that you have a problem. And if you're hiding those symptoms, the problem will only get worse. But yeah, I mean, they saved a lot of money, unfortunately. That's why some people even believe that it was not a fluke. Silver spot price, $82. Back to 100 when the Shanghai opens. Absolutely. I think that's a strong possibility. I'm curious how quick it will go up. I mean, we had an amazing day yesterday when you think about it. We're up to almost $85 now. We went up $6 in one day. If this rate keeps up next week, and we had a time period where that happened. I mean, take a look here. We got up to $122 on the 29th. Let's go back 7 days. 29th would be the 22nd. On the 22nd, we were at $90. In 1 week, we shot up from $90 to $122. I want you to think about that for a minute. Oh, no, I can't say that because that was 7 days. I needed to technically do 5. So 122... on the 29th, minus 5 days would technically be the 24th. Well, I guess I could count the 23rd, so, because Sunday night. And I think that was right here was Sunday night, because a Sunday night overseas market opens and it pops. So we went in 1 week. We went from 98 to 122. We had a $24 jump in a week. Tack that over here, a $24 jump, and that puts us just under $110. So us seeing $100 next week is very possible. For the people out there that think that's not possible, need to really consider rethinking that. Faceless Silver Stacker, good morning to you and everyone. Thank you so much, my friend. Good morning. Polly, good morning. I hyped the video again. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Silver will rise again, but I'm still happy for the gains that I made in the last 2 years. I started buying silver in the mid to upper 20s, and look at it now. Yeah, I mean, think about when you started buying silver. You started buying in the mid to upper 20s. That was right after another big jump. When you think about it, we had that pop, and you, by the sound of it, got in right when they had that pop. Every time you see those big pops, more people get on board. And here's the thing: a lot of people just looking at the Shanghai opening next week. That is going to be a major factor for next week, and the price of silver. But also, can the COMEX meet delivery orders at the end of the month? That's only about a week and a half away as well. So we'll see. And look at it now. I'm still very happy with my gains. Better than having my money sitting in a bank for a measly 2 or 3%, and I think that's being generous, 2 or 3%. So yeah, definitely something to be grateful and happy for. Okay, next comment. Do you think it's wise to have a dollar amount, meaning to sell a portion of your stack on the next big surge? I'm thinking if we go up again, we will have another crash. Do you think it's going to go crazy high next time? Here's the thing. Again, kind of lapses a little bit over a previous comment that we had. I think, yes, we will see another crash, but each crash will not be as bad as the previous one. The reason I say that is based off 2 things. First one, a lot of people sold. A lot of people have already sold up here. Some of that that's not all paper selling. We started popping, it started coming down again. There were people that sold in here. I actually know someone that sold right around $80. So they sold in here, and they were pretty happy when it continued down to 65. However, are they happy now? That's the big question. Now, on the flip side of that, let's go back a year. See if we can get a good, man, is that a year? Doesn't even look right. That's a bad. I like that one better. Boom. When we first hit this chart, I chose this chart because I specifically wanted to pull up this October 16-ish area, the October area. When we get up to $55 and we've seen this beat down. You've seen this beat down. A lot of people were devastated, dropped. It shows it on here as about a $12 drop, but it was actually like a $15 drop, $14 drop. I remember specifically helping someone buy, and he bought right here. He got it in. The price had already gone down to here, and I was like, oh, my word, he's going to hate me. He said, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not going to hate you. And so the price kept coming down. Now, the price got back up to that point. Right here, you can see it right there. And then all of a sudden, it took another hit. Not as bad as the previous one, but once we broke that the third time, we had that pop, and then we had the run up. Same thing happened here. We had the pull down, popped up, and then we had a little bit of a pull down, and then it really popped up. This right here, I think, is laying the stage for a very large climb. This is a big drop right here. The next one won't be as big, but there will be another one. And then from there, that's it. And the people that are selling at that point at the next $122 are going to be the few people that couldn't sell the first time around. And then we see the pullback, and then that's it. There won't be anybody left to sell. So I think we could, but I don't think it will hold anyway. I think we'll just see a little bit of a drop, and that will be it. And that's assuming we don't keep running all the way to 150 and then see a pullback to $100, and then the new floor $100, and that's it. So let's see. Your comments to views ratio is 12.5% as of right now. Most videos are much lower than that. I know because I watch more videos than just about anybody. So, yeah, I always get good comments on statistics from you. I've noticed that. That's not the first time you've given me a statistical comment. The comments on this one could have been a little higher because people tend to want to write comments. I've expressed that you writing a comment or anybody writing a comment really helps the algorithm. But on top of that, you get to ask a question that you know you're going to hear on Saturday morning the answer to. So I thank you so much. Who knows such things? Who knows such things I don't have, I think is how you pronounce all that. But great comment, great statistics. Hopefully I can get my subscriber count up. I know the comments lead to more people seeing the videos. The videos just kind of have had low views lately for a little while now. 392, 351, 399, 356. I blame the algorithm. Let's see. Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Even a little good morning comment helps the algorithm. Okay, being a small channel could be a future. We're like a Napoleon Hill mastermind group. Why not all of us run for local office and use this as a group to trade tactics and force the matters of sound money at the local level? That would definitely be good, but unfortunately corruption will take a lot of people out. I mean, there's a lot of people. I was actually just having this conversation with someone the other day. How many people go to Washington with good intentions and then greed steps in? And I mean, that's it. I mean, you look at, I hate to say this, you look at Trump. Trump said he would never take us to any kind of a war. And, whoops, and here we are looking like we might end up going to war. I don't necessarily think that means, how do I say this? Because I definitely don't want to bash Trump because of the options. I know some of y'all may not like that. Of the options that we had, we only had two. I was leaning more for Trump. But that's just because we only had two choices. That was the best America had to offer, was those two choices. But I will also say, when people get in office, it's not just necessarily greed. It's that they find out information that the rest of us don't know. I think he realizes now that war, unfortunately, destabilizes countries. Destabilized countries will try to flood the market with, in this case, oil. They're going to try to get as much oil sold that they can anywhere they can, despite people saying, oh, the U.S. won't buy their oil. Somebody will. Somebody will. War, unfortunately, is big business. It's not as profitable if you're involved in it, but it is profitable if you're selling. So who knows? There's a lot going on, and I don't want to get political in this video, definitely. Let's see. Good morning, T. I hope you have a great day. Keep on stacking. Thank you so much, Silver Fox. I appreciate that. I hope you have a great day, too. Let's see. I love the video today, sir. Keep stacking, folks. Thanks again, T, for everything. Thank you so much, Happy Stacker. I know you're happy to be stacking right now, and I think you're going to be a whole lot happier when we're back over $100 in a couple weeks. Let's see. Glad to hear from you again. I'm going to the local coin shop to hang out and see what is going on. Might buy a few ounces. We'll see. Thank you so much. Who knows such things? Yeah, I mean, having coin shop near you is a good opportunity. Go in, look around, try to pick up a couple deals. Maybe even try to cherry pick some silver dimes, silver quarters. I love cherry picking stuff if given the opportunity. Mom from Minecraft, how's it going today? Hope you're having a great day. Good morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Reese's, collapse creates stronger people only if they survive. Collapse can cause many passing away, I'm going to say, because I can't use the D word. So, yeah, it does, unfortunately. It happens. It's part of a collapse. And that is hard when you think like that, though. But think of a forest fire. I hate to say this like this. Some people might complain. You're comparing people to trees. A forest fire comes in and it levels everything. It ruins habitats. It ruins the home of the animals. It ruins the food for the animals. It ruins the tree growth, but it also takes out the underlying brush, the stuff that has choked out the forest from growing. It creates a whole new open space to where we can get all new growth. The ashes are good for the ground. I'm actually in the process of trying to get a bunch of ashes to put in my garden for next year. Even though I don't know if I will do one this year, but it's something I am looking at already. It's part of the cycle. And unfortunately, a reset is part of the 4 stages. It comes. The thing is, it comes like winter. Winter comes, and if you didn't prepare for it, you're going to have a rough winter. If you didn't put away some food, pretend back in the old days when we didn't have all the grocery stores. You didn't put away food, you're probably going to starve in the winter. You're going to freeze if you didn't put away wood. You're going to starve if you didn't put away food. It's a hard time. But if you know it's coming, you prepare and you thrive. And when spring comes, everything's new again. And it's a new year. I think the reset will be the same way. If you're prepared. If all this stuff is falling on deaf ears, then I don't know what to say. If you've made it watching these videos, I think you're probably prepared, though. If you've been watching, we've talked about prepping. We've talked about gardening. We've talked about a lot of stuff. And I may get back into talking more about that stuff because as silver goes higher, it's hard to tell people to buy silver at $150, $200. Let's see. John, good video. T, I've been following David Bateman. I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Since 2024, he started making his large purchases of silver. I believe he loves silver as much as I do. Yeah, I love it too. I just ain't got that much. It'd be nice to. Let's see. Good morning. Great topic. Raul, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Conrad, $122 an ounce, proof of concept. We've been there. I think we're going to get there again, and then I think we're going to go even higher. Don't be fooled. I'm late. That's all right. Better late than never. Photography. Thanks, T. Thank you so much for the comment. I do appreciate it. Even if it's a small comment, I love them small comments, especially on a normal day, because I'm just getting bogged down with emails, comments, everything. Okay, Silver Solutions, LLC. You are the best, T. Good morning, and let's keep this train moving. There will be dips. There will be pullbacks. There will be booms and blow-off tops. This goes for everything, from silver to YouTube subscribers. You're a great content creator, and this channel will eventually boom. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can't thank you enough for that. That's what I try to keep telling myself. I always remember, and this did come out of the crypto memes, because I actually seen this meme one day. It had two miners. One getting to the end of the tunnel and then just giving up and turning around. And then underneath it, it had one getting to the end of the tunnel. And it was like the next swing was the diamonds. So I keep telling myself, you know, I could be one video away from just having the channel just go viral and taking off. And it only takes one video to you quit, and that next video could have been it. So that's what I try to keep telling myself when it comes to YouTube. Wes Stephan, T, do you know how many ounces of silver and gold you own? My advice to all stackers, audit your own stack. How can you stack for retirement and not know what you have? That's like not knowing how much money you have in the bank to pay your bills this month. Be smart and know your own holdings. Okay, so let's look at this two different ways. So I see where you're coming from on that. If you are low on your amount of money, then that does matter. In my case, I have some silver. I don't really know if it matters how much I have. I hate to say it like that. Having my stuff spread out benefits me, because if something is compromised, I'm not totally wiped out. I just don't understand the purpose of why people have to know. You accumulate. Is it going to matter if you found out tomorrow that you have 100 ounces or 1,000 ounces? Are you going to do anything differently? Are you going to like take a mortgage out on your house and go and buy a bunch more silver? No. I'm not going to change anything. Anytime I get extra fiat dollars, if I don't use it, I put it towards precious metals. I put it towards other assets. I don't really think it matters in terms of how much you have, because that would imply the guy that is, well, who was that guy that we just talked about a little further up in the comments? Bateman or whatever. Yeah, David Bateman. Most of us watching this video are probably not David Bateman. He's sitting on millions of ounces. But for the guy that's sitting on 100 ounces and that's all he can afford, I think he's still way ahead of most. You know, who knows? We'll see. At some point, I will. But here's what that comes into. You pull everything together. What's the next thing I'm going to want to do? I'm going to want to show it off in a video. I've already had people give me a hard time when I used to show precious metals all the time. Oh, you're showing off. You're showing off with your purchases or whatever. You know, that's not my intent. My intent is to tell people that I'm serious. I believe in it. And I think other people should too, but who knows? So knowing how much you have, I know someone left me a comment one day when I said make lists. He said, I wouldn't do that, bro. That's what they did in Germany. They made lists. And we saw what came out of that. First, they came for people's pew-pews with their lists. Yeah, I don't even feel the need to. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not trying to do anything except for when I have a little extra fiat and a good deal comes along, I try to grab it. I actually do know, though, how much gold I have. My gold is not as diverse in multiple places as my silver. So I do know how much gold I have. I just don't really talk about it. And even if I did an audit on my silver, I probably still wouldn't talk about it. But I would like to know. I ain't going to lie. I especially wanted to know when it got up to $122. I was really curious. But now, with the new rules on selling and stuff, well, no, I shouldn't say new rules because I wasn't able to confirm that. I'm not selling all my stuff. If I needed a little bit to get by, sell an ounce or two, I would. Other than that, that's it. To me, it's just there. What you said about Western bankers focused on shorting metals for paper profits is very important observation. The West, short term, paper focused, individual focused. The East, long term, physical focused, emphasis on national interest. Exactly. China has came out and told their people to buy silver, to buy gold. Why? A stronger people makes for a stronger country. Working together puts them in a better position. Divide and conquer. Sun Tzu, Art of War. If you can divide people up, like this country is very divided here in the United States, that's it. If you can work together, look out for the people, let the people do better, be grateful, and encourage. How many people? You know what they need to do? They need to come up with some kind of slogan. Gardens against Trump. Everybody in America grows a garden in protest of Trump. That's what we need to do. Come up with something that puts us in a better spot. And unfortunately, if that is against something, that is a great way to protest. A big garden. And what comes out of a great garden? A better group of people. It takes a lot to build a garden. It takes a lot to create something. The majority of people in the world today don't create nothing. And that's a big factor on why we're losing here in the U.S., I believe. If everybody was to go out and grow a garden like we did the Victory Gardens, it unites people. It produces something. It makes times easier. It creates community. It brings people together. And if they want to call it Gardens Against Trump, I would be perfectly fine with it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about that to me. It only matters the positive outcome. And I even think Trump would agree with that. Maybe they should make even, I bet you Trump would love to see if they came out with treasury bonds for Trump, treasury bonds against Trump. See which one sells the most. And at the end of the day, boom, they sell a bunch of bonds. I wouldn't want to buy any bonds, period, but some people would. Just to, I don't know, see their side invest more. And I think the government would like that because they're trying to find a way to refinance all their bonds. Let's see. This is why China is winning. They are stacking 15-kilogram slabs while U.S. banksters make their fake paper profits. China now dominates the silver refining, rare earths, lithium, and etc. Absolutely. Not really seeing an end in sight for that either. That's why I say once their markets open in a couple days, we are going to see silver pop, I think. I'll bet you we see a gap of at least $3 gap up instantly. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be exciting. Let's see. Good morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Even the good morning comments really help the algorithm. Let's see. Next one. I love the longer videos. Some people do. Someone else said me too. Yeah, some people like the longer videos. Some people, though, they don't. They just prefer the short 1 minute, 2 minute videos. Okay, this one is a comment with 2 replies. Good morning. I was really hoping for a pullback into the 60s, but I think the whole Iran news may be propping it up. I still don't trust the price. I did pick up some Libertads at the dip last week, but holding off for now. China is back from the holidays. Not yet, but they will be here in a few days. I think the markets officially open back up on Monday night. China markets are closed. They do not come back from the holidays until Sunday night. I don't actually think they come back on Sunday night. I think they come back on Monday night. because I think Monday is still part of their holiday too. They didn't just take a week off. They took a week and the Monday off. I think. I could be wrong on that because I ended up looking that up yesterday. Right here, in fact. The Shanghai Exchange, Shanghai Futures Exchange is closed for the lunar holiday with trading suspended from February 16th through February 23rd. So that's through the 23rd, which is Monday. So I think they reopen on their Tuesday. Trading is scheduled to resume on Tuesday, February 24th, which is our Monday night. This shutdown is impacting global precious metals liquidity. So this is where it's going to get exciting, I think, when they do open back up. And a lot of people will miss the dip. Like we've said, they'll miss the dip, and that will be it. Ooh, we're getting to the end of the video, I think. Good morning, T. God bless your cotton stocks. Russia is in a very good economic position, but old rusty us of a tells suckered otherwise. You're no fool, T. Oh, no, I agree Russia's in a good... But Russia has not always been in a good position. Russia is coming back around. I mean, I seen videos back in the day where stores were low on stuff. And they told their people that the reason their stores are low on stuff is because they have a lot of money. And the reason the U.S. stores have a lot of goods and stuff is because... we don't have any money because we're poor, and so that's why the stores are full of stuff. It's propaganda. It's all propaganda. But right now, yeah, I think Russia is in a good spot. At least the homeland, Russia, the mainland, and I say mainland, that's probably not the right term either. Maybe the outskirts might be having a hard time, but the inner Russia, I think, is doing good as usual. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what will happen as time goes on. Ultimately, I think we have the potential for the biggest drop in every category, and I think it's going to be ugly when that happens for us. Been a long time since commenting. Last was trading gold for silver when the ratio was over 100 to 1. Wow. You haven't commented in forever, man. Come on. Pop up on. You got to comment more. But I appreciate you commenting on this video. Thank you so much. Unknown. Good morning, T. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, new members. So many veterans complained the VA revised their decision on cutting percentages if meds work. I had not heard about that until your comment, and I think you even gave that a similar comment the other day that I had read. I hadn't heard about that. For some people, if the meds work, I understand they do that now. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it sucks for some people that are in that position. I don't really know what to say on that one. I really don't. I'm in a weird situation. My meds didn't help me in the beginning, and then I eventually just got mad and didn't even want to take them. They're going to look for ways to start cutting more and more stuff. They're going to be cutting a lot of benefits. They're going to cut a lot of programs. They're going to probably cut a lot of stuff. It stings for a lot of people. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's see. John, morning, T, and fellow stackers. Good morning, my friend. Thank you so much for commenting. And Thomas, T, never give up. You're the best. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. And with that being said, that is all the comments in yesterday's video. And yesterday's video, if you didn't watch it, precious metals, monetary reset, global debt crisis, and a Ponzi scheme. Precious metals like gold and silver may be your only life raft. And I misspelt that. Damn. Did no one comment on that? I'm going to have to go back and fix that now. I don't know how that came out like that, and I didn't catch it. But by the time I do these videos, it's literally the middle of the night. I finished up yesterday's video at 3 in the morning. Here it is, 2:15 in the morning right now. I tend to stay up all night usually. My days make for tiring days sometimes. But I don't sleep at all. I've never really been a sleeper for a while. I just try to get through it. I know some people say that's horrible for diabetes, not getting proper amount of rest. Maybe someday I will figure that out. Maybe I'll find the right medicine that helps me sleep and doesn't just totally take me out. Once again, exciting times. I think silver is going to shoot right back up as fast as it came down. And it's going to be exciting. With that being said, the only thing I didn't check is Bitcoin. Let's refresh this, see what Bitcoin's at. Still at $67,922. Taking a quick look at the DXY at 97.79. U.S. debt continuing to climb at $38.713 trillion. I'm really wondering if we're going to see a huge jump in this pretty soon with the recent tariffs Supreme Court ruling. We'll see how that plays out. That irked me. I was like, well, who gets that refund? Because them costs got passed on to the American citizens. We paid for them tariffs. And now it looks like companies could end up getting all that money back, which will burn me. I will be so mad if they get all that money back. But that will probably prop up the stock market again. We'll see. Who knows? And any new banks closed? Let's just see this real quick. I always like to refresh this page to see if anything new dropped. Nope. Gold silver ratio. Let's see where that's at now. I'm sure that dropped. It was at 63.49 and now I didn't refresh it yet. I'm refreshing it right now. 63.49 and whoo! We went 3 more ounces. So if you were holding silver, you did very well yesterday as opposed to gold, but we'll see where it goes. I wouldn't be surprised to see this start coming back down, but who knows? A lot of people like gold. I can't say anything bad about gold. Gold did a great job holding in this recent drop that we had. Yeah, it's down, but $5,100 gold, it's starting to climb again. And a lot of people like it, and a lot of people were buying gold if they had to sell it. So we'll see what happens on that note. With that being said, that is going to conclude today's video. I'm going to have to probably go back and fix that thumbnail, but I may not. I mean, I don't think it matters at this point. But I may. The video's already been up for a day, so yeah, at this point, I don't think it will matter much. Usually once these videos filter back a week, nobody watches videos that are more than a week old. With that being said, going to wrap up here. I thank everybody for watching, commenting. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I may try to get a couple shorts up tonight. Sent out a few packages for a couple different people yesterday. I need to start planning out my next event. Hey, 1 year ago Monday, we had done our huge giveaway. That was our biggest, one of my biggest events. Not my biggest, but my biggest event was when I hit like 1,000 subscribers. That was my biggest event. And I didn't even have memberships back then. Giving away free gold, free silver, free all kinds of stuff. Trying to think that maybe that would spike the videos and the views and all that. That didn't work. But last year, some of y'all remember that February 23rd video. with that being said, going to wrap up here. I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see y'all again on Tsquare Talk. Don't forget, hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. I will see you again on Tsquare Talk. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Can't wait to see what happens on Sunday night.